which we see as part of this daily editorial session. Am I audible to you now? I hope I am properly audible to you now. Okay, so I guess I am now properly audible and visible to all of you. So we were talking about this, that we are having this daily editorial analysis session in the morning, and in this session we are talking about the topics which are relevant from your syllabus. This is something which is going to help you in making the notes also, plus at the same time we also discuss some of the answers. So the important keywords which are there, we are going to discuss that also, and it will help you to develop a perspective with respect to different topic. Okay. So I think now I am properly audible also and visible to all of you. So let us start the topics. Let us start first the topics. We are having three topics over here. The first one is with respect to India-US defense ties. The first topic is with respect to US-India defense ties. Last day this editorial was there. So we are going to discuss about this in detail, that what is the component about this India-US defense ties. Then we are going to talk about the political and pressure groups. This is also again a very important part of your GS paper 2. So we are going to discuss about the second topic, and the third one is going to about the Indian foreign policy. In one of the previous session we had this topic, but we were not able to discuss that. So today we are going to discuss all these three topics. Okay. So now let us start with the first one. The first one is about India-US defense ties. The first one topic is with respect to this India-US defense ties. So let us look at this. Okay. When we talk about it, I think you know it is part of your syllabus of GS paper 2. Okay. This is part of your GS paper 2. Now let us talk about the context of it. Let us talk about the context of it. What is the core argument? What is the core argument over here? Core argument is this, that India and US, we have got multiple defense deal in last 25 years. We have got multiple defense deals in last 25 years. But what we see that the result has not been very much positive. Okay, it has not. It has not become a very much the output. It is not very much high. Okay, so output is really low. Output is low. We see that it becomes a major political announcement. We see that there is a major political announcement, not only from the Indian perspective, but from the geopolitics also. From the geopolitical side also, it is considered as a major geopolitical announcement. But what we see that there is a major political announcement, however, the output remains low. That is the core argument over here. That is the core argument which is being discussed in this article. So now let us try to evaluate it one by one. Okay. What we see, since 2002, we have purchased defense equipment. We have purchased defense equipment worth $22 billion from US. We have got $22 billion defense equipments from US in the last 20-25 years. Okay. But what we see that there have been no such cases of defense collaboration. There has been no such cases of defense collaboration. There have been no technology transfer. There has been no such technology transfer. we see that there is no such technology transfer, no industrial collaboration. There has been no such industrial collaboration. What we see that this entire relation remains merely, it remains merely a seller purchaser relation. Okay, so what we see that this deal, it basically, it remains as, this one remains as seller buyer relation. This remains simply as a seller and buyer relation. We have been, if you look at this, that we have got multiple such defense deal, but the output is low. If we look at this, since 2012, we have purchased, okay, we have purchased around $22 billion from United States. Now, what we see that in such cases, we look at this, that there is no such case of defense collaboration, no such technology transfer, no such industrial collaboration. So, in matters of defense, what we look at this, that it remains as a major seller-buyer relation. Okay, seller-buyer relation. So, this is one of the part which we have to see from this one article. Now, see, if we look at some of the major defense deals, if we look at the major defense deal, you will find that India and US, we have got this first deal which was called as Defense Technology and Trade Initiative in 2012. Defense Technology and Trade Initiative. Defense Technology and Trade Initiative. This is something which was there in 2012. Then what we see that again 10 years later, we see that there is one thing which we see in the form of ICIT 2022. There was ICIT 2022. But in both of them, in case of both of them, we have seen that there have been only some meetings, but no real output. There have been no real output. So we see that there has been no real output, only meetings and communication, only meetings and announcement. Now, let me give you another example. India has got a civil nuclear deal with United States in 2000, in case of 2008 also, 2007, 2008 also. And that time also, US has announced that they will be having a nuclear power plant in India. It has been more than 18 years, but there has been no such nuclear power plant by US in India. So when we talk about US and India relation, it is more about announcement, more about making the breaking news and headlines rather than anything on ground. So why this divergence? If we have seen that with other nations, we have got some collaborations. We have got collaboration with France in case of building of a Scorpion class submarine. We are having collaboration with France in development of a Scorpion class submarine. We have also collaboration with Russia in development of BrahMos missile. So we see that we are doing collaboration with other countries. We are partners. We are having partnership with other countries for co-development. But when it comes to US, it remains more of an announcement, but then it doesn't translate into actual output. Now the question is, why this is there? Why this is there? Why we are not having any such real outcome? Why we are not seeing something on ground? Okay. So the real reason is there is a difference in approach. There is difference in approach. There is a difference in approach. Okay. What we see when India makes a defense deal, when India is making a defense deal, so in that case, what is our expectation? Our expectation is the technology transfer. Our expectation is that we will have technology transfer. Okay. We are looking at acquiring advanced technology, acquisition of advanced. We are looking at this one thing, that we will be having acquisition of the advanced technology. We also see that this will be one of the option of indigenous manufacturing. This will also be an option to strengthening indigenous manufacturing. It is also a tool of self-reliance. We are trying to become self-reliant in case of defense. So when we are making a deal, what is our expectation? We want technology transfer, we want acquisition of advanced technology, we want co-development, or we want to improve our manufacturing capacity. We are also looking at this part that over a period of time, gradually, we are going to become self-reliant. So this is our objective. This is what we want to achieve. This is something which we want to achieve. But when we talk from the perspective of United States, when we talk about US perspective, when we talk about the US perspective, what we see there? They try to have a strict control on, they are having a strict control on advanced technology. They are having this strict control on advanced technology. Okay. And the other side, what we see that they consider advanced technology as a strategic asset. So they are not ready to share it. They are not ready to share it with other country. Okay. What we also see that they are also having a strict export control policy. They are also worried about intellectual property with respect to advanced technology. So US is not ready to say, US is not ready to share these things. They are having a very much strict control over their entire defense equipment. They are supplying those weapons which are not that much strategic for them, or they are trying to supply those things which are having lesser relevance for them. So this is one of the part which we have to understand. US is not going to supply us those weapons which are very much advanced. First thing is this one. They are not ready to supply those things which are very much advanced. That is point number one. Second thing is, at the same time, they are considering it at their strategic asset. So they will not be ready to share it with other parties. Plus, at the same time, when we also look at this, they are having a strict export control policy, and at the same time, they are also concerned about their intellectual property rights. They're also concerned about their intellectual property rights. So as a matter of all these things, we see that there is a divergence. While there has been announcement of this defense deal from time to time, multiple headlines have been generated, all these things go on. But what we see that it is not materializing into anything significant. It is not getting into anything significant. So that is one of the challenging aspect with respect to India and US defense deal. Now on the basis of it, now suppose we are having a question on the basis of it that India US, this will be of 150 words. 150 words. So here we have this one question. India US defense ties have failed to deliver any significant outcome due to diverging interest. So I think, can you write this answer? That why there is a diverging interest? So here we see that India-US defense ties have failed to deliver any significant outcome due to diverging interest. Analyze. So this is one question which you have to practice. Can it be done? Okay. Now, coming to the next part, what we see? We have the second article, that is the disruptive rise of India's new political generation. The disruptive rise of the new India's new political generation. Now, what we see that the politics in India is changing. The core argument is, what is the core argument over here? The main argument. What we see, the core argument is there is a change in Indian politics. There is a change in Indian politics. There is a change in there is change in Indian politics. What is this change? The youth, they want participation. They want participation, and that has to be real. What we see, that the youth which are there, they are having alternative mode of communication now. They are having alternative mode of communication now. The youth which is there, it seeks accountability. It seeks accountability of the politicians. It seeks accountability of the politicians, of the leaders. They can no longer be immune from any such criticism. They have to be responsive. They have to be responsive. They have to listen to the people. They have to give answer to the people. So that is one of the expectation. That is one of the expectation of the youth in the present times, that they have to do all these things. Okay. Now let us analyze it one by one. Okay. Let us see this one by one. When we talk about the youth in India, there was a time when people were participating in the democratic process, not just, they were participating in the democratic process just as a future voter. They were participating just as a future voter. But now what we see, that no, not merely a voter. They are not merely a voter, they are actively shaping elections. They are actively shaping elections. Okay. They are actively shaping political discourse. Actively shaping political discourse, that what will be the matter of discussion. What will be the matter of discussion? They are changing it. Okay. They are emerging as an independent political force. We see that there is emergence as independent. There is an emergence as an independent political force. Okay. They are no longer seeking just the support of a political party. They are no longer dependent on a political party. There was a time when people used to seek support of one party or another party for favoring their agenda, or just to forward their agenda. People were dependent on other political parties. But now the youth, They are not waiting for the political parties that any political party will raise their matter. Many a times what have also been seen that they're asking the political parties to stay away from their campaigns, to stay away from their campaigns, to stay away from their demands. Okay. So they don't want the politicization in a political party manner, rather they want to shape the discourse by themselves. They want to set the agenda by themselves. Okay. And what we see that they are having their own language and methods of engagement. Okay. So methods of engagement are also different. The methods of engagement, the methods of engagement, this is also changing. The method of engagement is also changing. Now let me give you certain examples. Let me give you certain examples that how the things have been changing, how the engagement has been changing. How the engagement has been changing. You may have seen this one part that at multiple places we are having this VIP culture. At multiple places we are having this VIP culture. So there we see that if there is a VIP culture, we have seen that this is being opposed by horns of vehicles. Okay, they're honking. They're honking. Okay. Or there is also memes. There is also videos. Okay. So there is multiple criticism of the VIP culture. There was a time when people used to believe in our country, there was a time when people used to believe that if a leader is passing by, then the citizens must give them the proper respect. They should properly side. They should give the free passes to the ministers or to the any such VIP person. But now that thing has been changing. If any such VIP is passing and the road or the traffic has been disrupted, so youths have started to oppose it. Now the youth is no longer ready to accept it. They are not like accepting it, that why you will close the roads. If a CM has to pass by a road, why the CM has not arranged a separate road? Why they have not made a roads in such a manner that there can be passes of the VIP vehicles on one side and then others can pass simultaneously? So if we are talking about the VIP culture in India, so they are expecting that the road should be completely empty. So you should have constructed the roads where there could have been lesser traffic. You should have been able to manage the traffic effectively. So if you are having the VIP passage, you should have made infrastructure for that. So what we see that the youth has now started to demand it. The youth has started to demand it. So we see that there was a traditional way. There was a traditional way. There was a traditional way, and it was about like open letters, pamphlet, rallies, television, radio. Now what we see that it has been replaced by social media platforms. This has been something which has been replaced by the social media platforms. Social media platforms. We see that there is focus on independent. There is focus on independent journalist. We see that there is a large focus on independent journalists rather than the TV anchors. There was a time when people used to believe that if their issue is raised at television, it is going to be beneficial for them. But now you may have seen that in many of the protests in the country, they have actively said that no such TV channels should be coming near their protest areas. So what we see that now there is a total boycott of the media also, the mainstream media. They are also being boycotted. We see that the language, the method of engagement, that is also changing. It has become more of a digital movement now. Okay. Now, what is the expectation? What is the expectation? What is the expectation of the youth? The expectation is real power sharing. Real power sharing. Okay. Like there is a increasing demand. There is an increasing demand that suppose if a candidate is there, and they have won the elections, but they are not working as per the people, so then they have the right to recall. They should have, there is a demand of right to recall. Example, demand of right to recall, that they can cancel the candidature of the MP or MLA. So there is a demand of right to recall, that if a person is there, if they have not been working properly, so then person can be removed from their post. Okay. There is again what we see, that there is again this one thing, there is a demand of accountability of leaders. Like you may have seen, example, there is demand of resignation. Demand of resignation. There is a demand of resignation also, that minister should be resigning. If a person is accountable for something, there must be resigning. There must be a fair investigation. Example is demand of fair investigation. Demand of fair investigation. Okay. There is also this one thing, that responsive governance. There is a demand of this one thing, that government must be responsive. Government must be responsive. They should not have to wait for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years to get their matter resolved. The youths want the government to be responsive. It wants the government to act in a proper manner, in a time-bound manner. Okay. So here we see that there is a responsive government, demand of timely action. Timely action. So it's not that there was a time when in India, if there was any scam, if there was anything, there was only one single approach. And that approach was that there will be constitution of a committee. That committee will investigate the matter and then everything will be done. But what we used to see, that committee never gave its recommendation, or even if it gave its recommendation, it was not made public. There was no such change on the ground. There was no such impact of it. So we see that there have been a changing discourse. There have been a changing discourse. Okay. So they want their leader, or they want the government to be accessible also. Okay. There is also one demand. They want accessible leaders. They want accessible leaders. Okay. The youth want that the leaders should engage actively with the youth. That they should engage actively with the youth. That is also one of the demand. That is also one of the demand. Then there is also, they want participatory leaders. Means leaders who can participate. Leaders who can participate in the cause of youth. So what we see, that there is a changing discourse in the Indian politics. The Indian politics is changing. And the thing is, if some political parties, if some leaders are adapting according to it, they would be able to survive. If they are not adapting according to this, then there is a chance that they may become irrelevant over the period of time. So the political discourse in India is changing. It's no longer the 70s, 80s or 90s where people are going to trust the leaders as some who has been sent by God. Okay. There have been multiple philosophies, and in those philosophies it has always been talked about that a king is a god. But that king is a god thing is gone now. now that philosophy is gone, that king or the leaders, they are not God. They are the part and parcel of the democratic process. They are from amongst the citizen itself. So they have to be responsible, they have to be accountable, they have to be accessible, they have to be participatory in nature. So this is the demand, this is the changing discourse of politics in India. I hope it's clear. Okay. So this is the second part, and on the basis of it, here is the question. India is undergoing a quiet but significant democratic transformation where youth are becoming central actors in shaping the country's political future. Discuss. So again, we have this second question. I think you can write the answer. दोनों पे आपको notes मिल गया? In both these topics, I think you have got the notes. So you can write both these answers. Okay. Now, coming to the third part. So this is one of the previous article which we could not discuss in our session. It is one of those previous lectures which we had not discussed. So here it is about like the core argument is, and again in this part also we have to see what is the core argument. Just one second. What is the core argument? What is the core argument here? Okay. The core argument is this, that we need anticipatory statecraft, not reactive diplomacy. Okay. There is one thing called as anticipatory space. Okay. That there is need of anticipatory statecraft rather than reactive diplomacy. Okay. Can you please explain the VIP culture? You may have seen this one thing, like many a times in multiple cities, when there is any such tour of any ministers or chief minister or any such high level dignitary, the roads are often closed. Okay. It may be time of schools, it may be time of offices, someone of them may be going to hospitals, but we see that the road is closed sometimes for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and sometimes even more. We see that there is a huge traffic condition which is created. Like, let me give you an example. In the month of December, I was here in Patna itself, and during that time, there was one such event of a random political party. I'm not going to take the name. So in the month of December, there was a rally or some kind of event of a political party. It was not a state event, it was more of a political party's event. And due to that event, when I was coming to the studio, when I was coming to take the classes, the entire road was filled with traffic. And I could not reach here on time. I was delayed by more than 20 minutes, 30 minutes, even more than that. So I was on time, but what we see that due to these events, I was stuck in traffic for more than 1.5 hours. And I got delayed by 30 minutes. So the thing is, okay, fine, the classes are there. Even if it is delayed for 30 minutes, I can accommodate. Maybe I will take 30 minutes extra, then it will be done. Okay. So that's not a problem. But think about this. Some people may be stuck in ambulances during the same time. Some of the people may have to go for a job interview on a particular date and they have to reach there on time. Some people may have other urgent duties. Maybe they have to get some one from railway stations or airport, and it's very much urgent. So in that situation, it becomes a challenging thing. When a minister is passing, when a chief minister is passing, often roads are closed for 15, 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, more than that. Okay. So In various parts of the country, now we see that there is an increasing trend that if roads are closed, if the traffic is there, if people are standing there, they start just having their horns, they start honking by their vehicles in protest to that VIP culture. You may have seen multiple videos where people are honking against that road closure. That if a road has been closed, they are honking against it in form of a protest. This is a part of a symbolic protest. That no, it is not correct, it is wrong. There have been multiple such cases. There have been multiple such cases where there have been conflict with the police also of the people. Now, of course, conflict should not be there, but yes, at the same time, the leaders would have to understand this part that it's no longer 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s where they can go as they have been going. That if a prime minister is coming, the entire state will be closed or the entire area will be closed. Of course, prime minister have the duty to visit each and every state, each and every district. But for that, the life of the common people cannot be impacted. Because for someone, that particular day may be very much important. As it is important for the prime minister, so for the common person also. Or as it important for the chief minister of any state, it is equally important for the citizen of that country. So their life should not be impacted. If you think you need a VIP treatment, then make your own road, make your own infrastructure. You can travel by that. Okay. So this is one of the things which we have to understand, that the VIP culture. Now you may have seen in European countries, people like prime ministers, or in various developed countries, the prime minister is riding on a bicycle. In many parts of the world, the prime minister and ministers are simply traveling on the roads. They are not having that VIP culture. So why in India? Why in India we are having that VIP culture? Okay. Now, so need of anticipatory statecraft rather than reactive diplomacy. Okay. Now what we see, what is reactive diplomacy? That reaction against reaction when a problem arises. Okay. Like US imposed tariff, India started engaging with SCO and BRICS. Last year you may have seen this. Last year you may have seen this, that when US imposed tariff on us 25%, then additional 25%. So what we did, we started engaging. We started engaging with BRICS and SCO so that US will reconsider its option. But the thing is, how did we allow US? How did we allow US to take such a step against us? Because we have not created a significant presence in global geopolitics. We have not got a significant, uh, uh, constant policy. We are often taking reactive diplomacy. If Iran, if there is a sanction on Iran, what we do? If there is a sanction on Iran, then we try to purchase oil from some other countries. If there is a sanction on Russia, we try to again buy oil from some other countries. So we are not having our constant policy. We are not having our constant policy. On the other side, see this one thing, China. When we talk about China, it is projecting itself as a leader of South, as a leader of South. Okay. Think about this. We have seen that they have proposed, they have proposed global governance architecture. They have proposed global governance architecture. They have got One Belt, One Road initiative. One Belt, One Road initiative. Shaping policy with respect to semiconductors, rare earth elements. Shaping policies with respect to technology. So if you are looking at China, what we see that what has been their approach? They are projecting themselves as a leader of this global south, as a leader of the global south. They are proposing those frameworks which can be beneficial for many countries of the world. They have got this One Belt, One Road initiative. Now, of course, you can criticize it, but even when you are criticizing it, there are so many countries of the world which have joined this One Belt, One Road initiative. Many countries of the world, many smaller and developing nations, they have joined the One Belt, One Road initiative of China. You may agree with China, you may disagree with China, you may have problem with the policy of China. But then again, there are several other nations which have joined China in these initiatives. When there was a geopolitical conflict in Iran, when there is a geopolitical conflict in Iran, what we see that then China is negotiating it from the backside. Okay. So it is not in the front of it, but still it is a part of negotiation. What we see that, just to give you an idea, recently China has banned the export of helium in its own country. It was a small step. Okay. It was a small step that China has banned the export of helium. There is no impact on the entire world due to this ban on helium export of China. But see this, it became a global news. Even though it was a national news of China, and still the helium export ban of China became a global news. Why? Everyone is looking at China, that what China is doing, what China is doing, what China is going to do next. So China has created its relevance in the world. It is shaping the policies. It is not getting affected by it. It is not getting affected by this. So in this scenario, what are the opportunities for India? What are the opportunities for India? See, what we see that India has been an advocate of reforms in UNSC or other institutions for a very long period of time. India has been an advocate of reforms for a long period of time. But in the recent times, our focus has decreased with respect to these things. Okay. So what we see that in past, India has been an advocate of global governance reform. But we see that lesser focus in present times. There has been a lesser focus in present times. You may have seen our engagement with NAM, non-alignment movement, it has come down. Our focus with BIMSTEC, it has come down. Our focus with IORA, it has come down. Okay. So what we see that some of the forums where India was raising the global issues, there our engagement has come down. Our engagement is coming down. We are mostly looking at what US is doing, what Europe is doing. We are not having participation with that global south, which was our main base. Our engagement is just about getting some favor from US or European Union. So our policies have been changing in the recent times. Okay. So what we see that in the present times, what opportunities are there? Okay. What opportunities are there? We are having in future technology and AI. So this is an opportunity for India. this is something which is an opportunity for India. So India needs to develop competency, project itself as a leader. We have seen the recent step like India AI Impact Summit. We have seen the AI Impact Summit. We have seen the AI Impact Summit. Now, that was one of the golden chance, although we have the universities which has created a different challenge for us. Okay. So we have got some universities also which have created some challenge for us, but still AI Impact Summit was one such option where India had the chance to project itself as a global leader with respect to AI, with respect to technology. Okay. Then again, climate governance. We see that climate governance. But what we see here also, India has withdraw from hosting COP. India has withdrawn from hosting COP of UNFCCC. There was a chance for India. There was a chance for India, but India has withdrawn the hosting of COP of this UNFCCC. So this was another chance for India. But then again, we have not been able to materialize it. We have not been able to materialize it. Okay. So what we should be doing, in fact, see, we have got so many think tanks in India. So think tanks need to identify India's capability and the global trend. Okay. What we should be doing, okay, that our think tanks which are there, they need to identify our competency and future global trend. Future global trend. And if we are lacking in the competency, we have to strengthen that. See, China has invested in the critical minerals from the last 20, 30, 40 years. Brazil has invested in ethanol from the last 50, 60 years. Now, what we see that our policy, like suppose we are talking about the E85 policy or E100 policy, it is what? It is a reactionary policy. It is a reactionary policy rather than an anticipatory one. So E85 is more of a reactionary policy. We have seen that there is a problem. We have seen that there is a problem of oil. So now we are coming with E85. When will it get materialized? Then at the same time, right now we are looking at this nuclear power plant. We are looking at nuclear power plant. We are trying to have this light water reactors. Last day we have discussed about it, that we are trying to have light water reactor. But the thing is, if you are dependent on enriched uranium, again in future there may become a challenge. In future again it can become challenging. So how are we choosing our policies? We have to see this, that how we are choosing our policy at the national level also, at the international level also. I hope that's clear. So I have given you two questions also. Now let us discuss the previous day question. Okay. There was this one question. In India, road accidents are a result of institutional fault and constitutional gap. Comment. तो ये आंसर कितने लोगों ने लिखा है? लिखा है आपने? How many of you have written this answer? Okay. So when we talk about this answer, how we have to start in introduction. In the introduction, you can give facts with respect to road accidents. You can give the facts with respect to road accidents that there is around 1.77 lakh death. There is around 1.77 lakh deaths due to road accidents in India. Okay. So you can start with this fact. Okay. Then here the thing is that the road accidents are a result of institutional faults. So this will be your main subheading. The main subheadings will be regions behind road accidents. Then point A, here you will write the institutional failure. Institutional failures. Okay. You can start with the 4E. 4A is engineering. Then the education. Then emergency. And there was another E. I am forgetting that part. Okay. There were 4E also here, na? Engineering, education, emergency, and there was another E. There were 4E in this portion. So I think if you have written it, you may have written the 4 E's there. Okay. Then the second part, the constitutional gaps. The constitutional gaps. Okay. The union, state, and concurrent list. Enforcement. Yes, enforcement part. So in institutional failure, you can talk about these things. In the institutional failure, you can talk about the engineering, you can talk about the education, emergency, and enforcement. Okay. So these are the 4 institutional failures which you can highlight. Then you can also mention about the constitutional gaps. Okay. So that is something which you have to do as part of this one thing. The regions behind road accident, you can divide it institutional failures, constitutional gaps. Okay. Then you can talk about this one thing, that since it is 150 words, so then you have to give the solutions. Then you have to give the solutions. Okay. You have to give the solution. Okay. So the schedule was written in the thumbnail at 9:15. Okay, there was some confusion maybe. Dekho, the thing is, right now I am in Patna. Let me tell you this one part. Right now I'm in Patna, and there is some offline classes which are scheduled. That is one part. Plus, at the same time, there is also this traffic issues also here. There is a lot of traffic issues. So when I have to travel from one part to another part in a limited period of time, it becomes a challenging aspect. So I will suggest you all that in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, so during that time, you can just check the timing once, that at what time today the classes are going to start. So for some days, I think for the next 7 to 8 days, try to see the time, at what time in the morning. Okay. In the morning, just check it once, that what is the timing. Okay. So then it will be easier. I'm sorry for this misunderstanding. Okay. Now, in the solution, you can mention according to this part that what is required here. What is required here? You can first try to addressing constitutional gap, and then addressing institutional failure. तो ये दोनों पार्ट को आप यहां पे लिखोगे, addressing the constitutional gap, addressing the institutional failure. Then at the same time, when you are writing the conclusion, तो कई बार आप लोग कंक्लूजन में कंफ्यूज होते हो ना कि क्या लिखे. अब देखो, मान लो 150 वर्ड्स है, you have to discuss about all these things, you have to give the solutions also. अब आपके मन में ये भी होगा कि what if I have to write some government steps, So this is something which you can use in the conclusion, that in the recent time government has just started uh, uh, helpline for accidents near the highways, or government has just also got this good uh, some good Samaritan laws. Yeah, Samaritan laws are also there. So what we can see, that in the conclusion you can mention some of the government steps. You can mention some of the government steps in the conclusion part. So this is one thing which you can do here, that in the first part, introduction, you can talk about what the facts with respect to the road accidents. Then you can mention the institutional failures, the constitutional gaps, then the solutions here, and the conclusion, it can be government steps. So I hope that part is clear. ये कैसे इस आंसर को लिखना है? How many of you have written the answers accordingly? See, I know that many of you are starting new. Many of you are starting new. So try to write the answer on daily basis. We will discuss the questions like this so that it can become much more clear with gradually over a period of time, that how to approach the answer, how to write the answer, what you can write in intro, what you can write in conclusion, how you can design your answer. Okay. So if you look at the answer now, you will find that we are trying to discuss almost every part. We have written the facts with respect to road accidents. That is one of the part. Then in the institutional failures also, we have got a good representation. Dekho, it is all about representation also, because almost everyone who is writing the mains examination will be having the knowledge. The thing is, you have to be somewhat innovative in your answer writing. You have to be somewhat innovative in your answer writing. So that representation part matters a lot. So if you are properly representing it, then also it becomes a better answer. Okay. So that will be all for today. And those who are having any specific doubt in answer writing, if you're having some specific doubt in answer writing, try to mention it in the comment box so that in the next session I can take up and I can talk about it. Okay. तो नेक्स्ट सेशन में आप लिखो कि कहाँ पे फॉल्ट आ रहा है, कि वेयर यू आर मिसिंग, in which portion of the answer you are missing. Try to write that in the comment box after the session so that I can go through it, and then in the next session I can tell you that what you can do. Morning and evening current affair is enough for prelims and mains? Yes, Krishna, it is more than sufficient. It is more than sufficient. In the morning session, we are discussing 2 or 3 articles on daily basis. So on a monthly basis, if we are having 20 days classes, you are having a coverage of near about 30 to 40 topics. Why? Because many topics get repeated. Many topics get repeated. So if you are having 30 topics per month, on an average also 30 topics per month, so it becomes 300 topics, 350 plus topics in 1 year. So that is not just sufficient, that is more than sufficient for your mains examination. That's one side. Second thing is, in the evening we are having 5 to 6 topics for prelims. Again, monthly you are having 70 to 80 topics. Yearly you are having more than 700, 800 topics. So if you are going through that continuously, it is more than sufficient. One last question, should India prioritize economic growth, environment sustainability, or democratic accountability? Can all three be achieved simultaneously? Yes, why not? We can achieve all of that simultaneously. See, when we are talking about a country, the first thing is you have to take everyone together. It has to be a participatory approach. It has to be a participatory approach. So when you are talking about democratic accountability, if you are ensuring the democratic accountability, it is going to ensure a participatory approach. When people come together, they will be working towards environmental sustainability. And then when they are working towards environmental sustainability, then in that situation, it will not be just a economic growth, it will be a economic development or the entire development. See one thing, Bhutan, it is not one of the most powerful economies of the world. It is not one of the most powerful economies of the world. It is not in the top 10 of any such thing. But Bhutan is a very peaceful country. In World Happiness Index, you will find that it has a very good ranking. in the quality of life, it is quite good. So what is your ultimate aim? What is your ultimate aim? It is about the quality of life, the peace of life. So when quality of life, when the life would be at peace, it will be much more better. Okay. So I hope that's clear. So I will take your leave now because I have to leave for another class. Okay. So if you have any doubt, Rishabh, just mention it once in the comment box. I will try to take it up tomorrow. Okay. So thank you everyone. Take care. All the best and let's meet tomorrow. Then we will discuss it. Thank you and take care.